Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. If you're tuning in, you're probably already sensing a pretty massive shift happening in the digital landscape right now. Honestly, you can just go ahead and forget everything you learned about e-commerce over the last few years. Those old rules, they are completely dead. Today, we're unpacking the core blueprint you need to start a highly profitable e-commerce business and build a digital empire that is designed explicitly for the 2026 landscape. It's literally a night and day difference when you look at the past versus our current reality. The old model was, frankly, just a giant guessing game. People were throwing random products onto a cheap website and just crossing their fingers, praying for sales. Like I said, that model is dead. The 2026 reality is an entirely different beast. Today, AI does the heavy lifting for you. Consumers absolutely demand instant checkouts directly in their social feeds, and every single move you make has to be backed by hard data. So here is our roadmap to construct this empire together. First up, we'll look at the core pillars. Second, we'll lay down the mobile storefront foundation. Third, we'll build the traffic engine. And finally, we'll wrap up with the 2026 edge. All right, let's dive right into part one, the core pillars. Basically, what actually matters. At the end of the day, the fundamental definition of e-commerce hasn't really changed. It's still digital retail, right? But to actually win today, you have got to master these three sequential pillars: product, platform, and traffic. And I can't stress this enough. You absolutely must master these in this exact order. Seriously, don't even worry about traffic if you haven't locked down your product and your platform first. Because here's the absolute truth. You cannot sell what people do not want. It sounds simple, but you'd be amazed how many beginners fail because they spend 3 agonizing months designing some fancy logo and exactly 0 days researching their market. Your very first step before you spend a single dime on inventory has to be market validation. We need to let the data tell us exactly what people are already actively searching for. The trick? Find a specific niche. Sell a highly specific solution to a very specific group of people. Please, I'm begging you, do not try to be the next Amazon. You just don't have the billions of dollars in infrastructure needed to compete on everything. But by targeting a super specific audience using data, you can easily become the definitive go-to solution for their exact problem. Okay, moving right along to part 2, the mobile storefront foundation. This is all about building on the undisputed king of e-commerce. So once you've got that validated product, it needs a home, right? Let me be super clear about this. Do not waste your precious time coding a website from scratch, and definitely don't settle for clunky, outdated software. Right now, in 2026, the undisputed king of e-commerce platforms is Shopify, period. It hands you the infrastructure immediately, which means you can spend your time actually selling it instead of pulling your hair out over debugging code. And here is a number you absolutely need to burn into your memory: 70%. Your store must be relentlessly optimized for mobile. Why? Because over 70% of all your purchases are going to happen right in the palm of your customer's hand. If your store looks absolutely gorgeous on a desktop computer, but it's a clunky, frustrating mess on a smartphone, you are actively setting fire to the vast majority of your revenue. To actually capture that massive 70%, you've got to play by the mobile survival rules. First up, lightning-fast load speeds. Mobile shoppers literally have 0 patience. Second, high-quality product visuals. These have to do all the heavy lifting, since the buyer can't physically touch the product. And third, a frictionless 3-click checkout. I mean it. If a customer has to tap their screen more than 3 times to give you their money, that sale is already gone. You have to remove every single barrier. All right, let's shift gears to part 3, the traffic engine. We're talking AI marketing and social commerce. Look, in 2026, social commerce is everything. To grab the attention of customers who are endlessly scrolling on their phones, you have to master ads marketing on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. But listen, those static picture ads, completely ignored today. Forget them. To win, you must leverage high-converting, dynamic, short-form videos. You need AI-optimized video content that actively stops the scroll and commands their attention instantly. Think about how we actually shop today. It's a journey that starts in seconds. You catch their eye with a scroll-stopping video. Then, within minutes, you funnel that interest directly into a private channel, like WhatsApp, where you can instantly recover an abandoned cart. And over the years, you use that direct, private line to build a really meaningful relationship. It's amazing. Attention flows seamlessly from a noisy public feed straight into a highly personalized conversation. And that brings us to WhatsApp,
Honestly, this is the secret weapon that so many of your competitors are completely ignoring. It seriously grants you e-commerce superpowers. We're talking incredibly direct communication, instant abandoned cart recovery right there on their phone screen, and the kind of personalized touch that is absolutely necessary to turn a spontaneous one-time buyer into a loyal, lifelong customer. Which leads us straight into our final section, Part 4, the 2026 Edge. This is all about staying ahead of the tech curve. Let's do a quick reality check here. Artificial intelligence, it is no longer just some flashy tech buzzword. It is actively rewiring how consumers discover and buy products every single day. If you aren't utilizing AI marketing tactics, things like predictive targeting and automated creative testing, you are guaranteed to be left behind by the competitors who are. It is your new competitive advantage.
So, what does your 2026 tech arsenal actually look like? Well, it's packed with 3 major tools. First, AI search agents. Customers are relying on AI to find products for them, which means your product descriptions have to be incredibly detailed and structured perfectly for an AI to read and recommend them. Second, augmented reality. Letting a customer use their phone to visualize your product right there in their own living room absolutely skyrockets buyer confidence. And third, live stream shopping. This is brilliant because it takes the interactive physical store experience and drops it right onto their mobile screen. Okay, so we've walked through the core pillars, the absolute necessity of a mobile-first foundation, building that social traffic engine, and getting the AI tech edge. This blueprint is incredibly rewarding, but let's be real. The learning curve to implement all of this perfectly is pretty steep. Which brings us to a very crucial question. Do you want the shortcut to building your empire? Because ultimately, you're faced with a choice here. On one side, you can embrace what we call the 6-month DIY struggle. That means wasting time and thousands of dollars trying to figure out mobile optimization, short-form video ads, and tricky AI integrations totally on your own. Or on the flip side, you can take the expert shortcut. You let the professionals handle all the heavy lifting, while you get to focus purely on the big picture vision of your business. The 2026 blueprint is right there in your hands, and the rules of the game have fundamentally changed. So the only question left is, how fast are you going to build your new digital empire?